What's going on? It is about to be Tuesday, February 24th. I'm actually recording this pretty late at night or about to be very early in the morning. I just wanted to share a quick clip with you guys from my stream today. Some interesting stuff ahead. We could have a lot of severe weather and a lot of warmth to start March. The first 2 weeks of March, I'm talking potentially severe weather from Tornado Alley through Dixie Alley. Again, above average temperatures, but we have a lot going on in the stratosphere. Major stratospheric polar vortex disruption, and that could mean the second half of March is completely the opposite. We could get another big burst of cold Arctic air and potentially even some more snow through the Ohio Valley, maybe even back out east. It's an interesting setup, so I wanted to share this clip from stream. I hope you guys like it. And of course, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you like the video, like the video. So here we go. 6 to 10 day forecast, 8 to 14 day forecast, 3 to 4 week forecast. Looks like it's getting very warm as we move into March, and it's going to stay warm. Again, not so fast. We're going to talk about why here. Let's first take a look at this. Now, this is just our operational control run of the Euro, but we've already had disruption up in the stratospheric polar vortex going on. Our stratospheric polar vortex winds are slow already, and it's going to try to get itself together. You can see those higher heights, that warmth is going to try to push out, and it's not going to work. Not according to the Euro, not according to most global models. And this to me, and now look, we're 200 hours out, but when we're talking about, not local forecasting, but climatological stuff, a bigger scale stuff, these models can do decent out at this range, 200 hours. This is an incredible stratospheric polar vortex disruption here. Absolute split, absolute break, very likely a full wind reversal. Absolutely incredible. Now let's take a look at this. And let me try to get this. There you go. Our winds are already very slow. We should be up here somewhere, the stratosphere. These are our winds down here. Okay, we are very, very slow. The coldest air on the planet, as I always say, is in the northern hemisphere, up in the stratosphere. Our winds are moving very slowly. The winds around the stratosphere act like a force field. If they're moving very quick, cold air can't escape. But when they start to slow down, that cold air is going to escape. The force field weakens. Let's take a look ahead. We're talking about from now all the way through into maybe mid-March. This is just a long-lasting disruption. And as we were seeing there, if I go back here, once we get through the first week of March, we could just be seeing an absolute collapse. So this is significant. This is significant. This isn't the tropospheric polar vortex, like I said. This is the stratospheric polar vortex, and there's a lag with this. Now, originally, I was thinking, listen, I've been saying it for a while. You guys know that March looks cold to me, especially for the plains and out east. The analogs look cold. We've been dealing with this disrupted stratospheric polar vortex for quite a while. This is kind of stretching out and extending, and it does look like maybe that coldest air is actually in the second half of March, which would be really interesting. Could we get a blockbuster snowstorm late into March, early into April? Maybe. It's pretty rare, obviously, for southern Ohio Valley, southeast, out towards the East Coast, towards the Atlantic, when we're starting to warm up, the ocean's starting to warm up, to get it that late. But everything is pointing towards major disruption. And I want to take a look at this as well. Where could that cold air be going? This is the European weeklies. And, the weeklies don't always do great that far out, but they've been doing pretty good this winter. Here's a 500 millibar height anomaly 7-day. Say we do get this cold air moving in around this time frame, second to third week of March. Don't pay attention really to where these oranges and blues are. Pay attention to kind of the angle of the jet stream here. A little bit of troughing out west. Some energy down here. This looks like some energy potentially off the Pacific. Maybe a little bit of a subtropical jet kicking on. And we're favoring colder conditions likely up here in the upper Midwest, west out towards the Ohio Valley, out towards the east. I know we have what looks to be a little bit of a kind of ridge setting up out here, but really, again, take a look at the jet stream. Take a look at what's happening here. Take a look at the angle of it. Interesting setup for potentially something big as we push through March out here again. I think the next few weeks is going to confuse a lot of people in the Ohio Valley, out towards the, and obviously in the next 5 days, we could get a little bit more snow out towards New England, out towards the mid-Atlantic. But then after that, everything's pointing towards weeks of warmth. And I think that's going to throw everyone off. And I think there's a big surprise coming mid to late March. And that surprise is going to be in the form of a kind of polar outbreak and very interesting snow placement, very heavy snow for someone out here, if not once, twice. It's a really good setup. And I find it interesting that we're going to have this big potentially thaw and warm up in the middle of it. I'm just saying, watch out for it. Trust me. Watch out for it. Really quickly, let's take a look at the next 7 to 10 days on the Euro. I actually think the latest GFS is loading. We'll see how loaded that is. right here, here's the latest GFS. Let's just push out as far as this goes right now. Obviously, as we move through tomorrow and Wednesday, we've got another kind of clipper system moving through portions of northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, through Michigan. We get maybe some good snow into Ohio, back into Pennsylvania, and then up into upstate New York. You can see New England. Now this is going to put a little bit more snow down. Someone could end up getting a surprise 6+ inches out here along the mid-Atlantic New England coast on top of what you have, believe it or not, and some more cold air. So someone's going to end up getting a surprise snow there. Mountains of West Virginia could do pretty well here as well. Getting into late this week, into Thursday, another clipper tries to run through the northern plains, upper Midwest. We have some precipitation still falling out there in the Northwest. We're actually getting slammed up in Northern California and Oregon right now. But getting into late this week, what's happening here? Well, the GFS sees this isn't going to be what we just saw. This isn't going to be a bomb cyclone nor'easter once in a century type system. But again, maybe another surprise for someone. The GFS sees this, the Euro doesn't. We need a little bit more time. And you're like, why do we need more time? This is only 72 hours out. Shouldn't we know by now? This is one of those fast moving clippers that's hard to tell if there's going to be the moisture content there or not. So we'll see what happens with the 00Z European tonight. We're still not positive here. Go take a look at the Euro and doesn't see much. Right now, I'm actually kind of on the Euro side. I think we may be a little bit dry up here, if you want to know my opinion. If anything, maybe we get like a 1 to 4 inches through this area. But I don't think like the GFS. What's the latest GFS show us for snowfall there? Let's take a look. The latest GFS for snowfall with that system wants to bring, let's see. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, 2 to 4 inches, if anything. But again, I think we may end up being too dry there. So let's go back to the European 18Z here. So we push into the weekend. Another clipper system. We're just getting clipper after. This is the third clipper system in the next 5 to 6 days. We could see through the upper Midwest again. This could be good for Minneapolis, Milwaukee, maybe Chicago, Detroit. And that one's pushing out back into New England again. So some more cold air, consistent snow up into this region here over the next week. But then it looks like we could get very, very warm. Okay, here's getting into early March. Obviously, the Euro and GFS see a major snowstorm up here. We'll talk about that's 200 hours out. We're not going to get into that precipitation yet. But you see this big warm up here. The 12Z Euro actually keeps it pretty cold out east still, but pretty warm. And then you can see here as we get towards the end of the run, just a lot of warmth begins to take over the plains and tries to push out towards the mid-Atlantic. I showed you stratospheric polar vortex, what's going on with the winds, what's going on with our European weeklies, 500 millibar. I don't think this warmth is going to last, but what this does look like this time frame to me as we get into early March is potentially a lot of severe weather. You're getting a lot of warm and cold air interaction through the plains and out here through the Ohio Valley in the Midwest. This obviously looks extremely severe, but this is 250 hours out. So let's watch the first week of March, the first 10 days of March for severe weather. This would be significant severe weather right here through Tornado Alley, Dixie Alley. So if anything, a warm, severe start to March, second half of March, we may get back into winter, and it's going to confuse a lot of people. Those are my thoughts.